Hi everyone! Today I'm sewing my Godet dress pattern. A Godet describes a skirt that has a fitted upper skirt and uses fabric inserts between the skirt panel on the lower part of the skirt. These inserts give the skirt some extra movement, adding some more swing to the skirt. This Godet dress pattern is great for the spring and summer months and has a really playful feel to it. My pattern can also be made without the Godet using just a simple skirt, or you could include the skirt all together and use the pattern to make a corset. I think using a simple skirt looks really cute for this pattern and would make this an easy dress to sew. A simple skirt gives the dress a more casual look. For this sample I made here, I also added lace tape to the hem of the skirt. In this video tutorial, I will be showing you step by step how to make this dress with a Godet skirt. But if you are making one of these pattern variations, feel free to skip sections that you don't need. These are the materials I'm using for this pattern. For the main fabric, I'm using a lace fabric with floral print. You can see that it's partially see-through when I put my hand behind the fabric. Since I'm using this lace fabric as my main fabric, I'm also using interfacing to go with my main fabric. Since my main fabric is mostly white, I'm also using a white fabric for my lining. I'm using this white chiffon fabric for my Godet inserts. Choose a fabric that pairs nicely with your main fabric. I'm also adding lace tape to the sleeves. Lace tape is optional, but I think it will give the dress a cute touch. And here is my hidden zipper. If you are making the corset top option, you will need an open-end zipper. Alright guys, we'll start off by cutting out pattern pieces. Detailed instruction for how to pin the pattern and cut the pattern pieces are included in your instruction booklets. When you are cutting the fabrics, be sure to cut all the notches marked on the pattern since they will be important when we are making the dress. On the main fabric for the center front piece, cut a slit from the bottom of the center front piece up until the pattern marking so that we can add the Godet insert later. Only cut this opening on the main fabric and not on the lining fabric. I'm going to start off by stitching the bar together. These are the center bar and side bar pieces that I'm stitching together right now. After I finish stitching the front bar pieces, I'm going to stitch the back bar pieces on. After we are finished with the bar area, I'm going to stitch the torso part of the bodice. Here is a preview of the bodice front. Notice the difference in the stitching between the main fabric and the lining fabric. The lining fabric stitches all the way through the pieces while the main fabric only stitches to where we will add the Godet later. Stitch the bodice size pieces to the center front bodice piece. Do this with both the main fabric and lining fabric. Now I'm going to stitch the back side bodice pieces together. Continue stitching all the bodice pieces together, and again don't stitch all the way through the main fabrics in order to leave room for the godet inserts. Overlock the seam between the bodice pieces together. Afterwards, cut a small slit where the panel opened up so that it will be easier to stitch the godet insert. Lastly, pin and stitch the godet insert in the opening. Add the godet insert to all the openings except for the center back where the zipper will go. For the center back, the godet insert will be smaller since we will be adding the zipper to that seam. And a smaller insert around for the zipper to be longer, so that the dress doesn't get stuck at your hips when you are putting it on. After we are done stitching the godet insert in, overlock the excess seams of the godet. With the right size of the main fabric and lining fabric facing each other, stitch the top part of the dress together. On the right side of the lining fabric, understitch 1 mm along the top sides of the lining in order to lock the edge of the seam. This will help prevent the lining from blowing outward when you are wearing the dress. Cut into the seams of the main fabric and lining fabric at the base of the straps and above the key wedge in order to allow the dress to fold properly on your body. On the main fabric only, pin and stitch the top and the skirt pieces of the dress together. The right sides of the top and skirt pieces should be facing each other while you are stitching. If you are a beginner, be aware that sewing the underbust curve will be challenging. It might be helpful to sew by your hand and stitch by machine afterwards. Okay, now we will attach the last Godet insert and work on the zipper. The seam that we left open between the back pieces is where the zipper and the small Godet insert will go. To attach the last Godet insert, fold the dress in half so that the right sides of the dress are facing each other. Afterwards, we will do a preliminary stitch to connect the back pieces together. Stitch a line between the zipper notch and the Godet insert notch. This small stitch will help you connect the last Godet insert piece to the skirt. Afterwards, pin and fully stitch the Godet insert to the skirt and overlock the excess seams. Now I'm going to be attaching the zipper to the open seam. If you need instruction on how to do this, a detailed step-by-step is included in your instruction booklet. Otherwise, attach the zipper on in the way you prefer. Stitch both back lining pieces up to the zipper notch. Afterwards, trim the bottom of the skirt lining by 1 inch and hem the skirt lining. Now we will be attaching the top and skirt pieces of the lining like we did earlier with the main fabric. Pin and stitch the pieces of the lining fabric together. The right side of the top and the skirt pieces should be facing each other while you are stitching. Remember, if you are a beginner, sewing the lining curves is a bit difficult. To make it easier, you can p-stitch the lining curves by hand before machine stitching. Here I'm going to finish tagging the zipper to the lining. When finishing the zipper, the right side of the lining fabric and the right side of the main fabric should fold around to fit each other, with the zipper sandwiched in between them. Here is what the inside of the dress looks like. All the seams are hidden and have a clean finish. Stitch the armholes in order to connect the lining fabric and the main fabric. Then cut a notch on the armholes where the sleeves will go. Now it's time to prepare the sleeves. So I'm going to start by stitching lace tape onto the right side of the main fabric. Take a piece of tape with a width of 4 cm made from the lining fabric and fold it in half. Iron it to flatten it out and stitch the tape onto the lace. Afterwards, cut off the excess seam. Fold the tape back towards the wrong side of the main fabric and stitch the seam to lock it in place. Now we will gather the sleeves by stitching 2 lines on the top of the sleeve. There are notches on the pattern to guide you. After stitching, pull on the thread to gather the sleeves. Fold the sleeve in half and mark the center. Stitch the sleeves onto the shoulder straps. I'm going to clean the strap seam now. For each sleeve, cut 2 notches that are 1 inch from each end of the sleeve. Afterwards, attach a piece of folded tape made from the lining fabric like we used earlier for the sleeves. Stitch onto the right side of the main fabric and cut the excess seam off. Fold the lining tape over to the lining side of the dress and stitch against the lining fabric to lock in the seam. Now I'm going to overlock this excess seam on the sleeve. In this video, I hem my main fabric by my serger machine, but you guys can hem the skirt by folding it over or using a zigzag stitch or adding lace. You can be creative with your hem. And that's all there is to this dress. I hope you enjoy wearing it. I would love to see how your dresses turn out, so if you post this on IG, please tag Silly Studio. If you have any question, leave them below in the comments. I will do my best to answer them all. See you guys in the next video.